Hi everyone, my name is Tia Duarte and I will be answering questions about the transition to college. It was very interesting transitioning from high school to college. The high school that I graduated from was very different from the high school that I started with. The high school that I started with was very diverse. It had pretty much any and all race that you can think of. And I wasn't the minority. But once I transferred high schools, I did become the minority. My high school was mostly white and Indian. And I went through a lot of different hardships through the last half of my high school experience. So transitioning to college was very slow. I actually ended up taking a gap semester just to be able to give myself some time to heal from everything from high school, to be able to just step back and be like, okay, let me, not deal with any school stuff, not deal with just anything other than work for a little bit. But going into college, some things that I had to adjust to was just the freedom of college, really. I started off at a community college, and in college, the professors are they're really cool, they're really chill. And I had to get used to that because the high school that I finished at, they were very opposite. They were very hardcore and everything. So I had to get used to just the laid backness of college that it had, but also get used to being held self-accountable. In high school, you have the teachers basically down your back all the time. Do your homework, you have this due, and da 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 da. But in college, there wasn't any of that. It was like they gave you the syllabus and they told you the due dates, that was it. They may have given you one reminder, but it wasn't like high school. So that was something I had to adjust to, is really just keep an eye on the due dates, not fall behind, even though I don't have a professor on me all the time about completing things, making sure I'm getting them done, staying on track and stuff. So that was something difficult to deal with. But now transitioning from, that community to a university, especially doing ASU online, the challenge that I'm facing now is just the accelerated part of everything. Everything's so accelerated, and it's like if you miss 1 week, you're so far behind. This past week I was sick, and it took me out for the majority of the week, and I was like, wow, all I could think about when I was sick was I have so much work to do, I need to do it, but I didn't have the strength to. And I think that's just another thing to get used to, is just the accelerated part of just college and everything, because it's not gonna slow down unfortunately. But some areas in my life that I can reflect on with just the dualism is, with just people in charge. You grow up and you always think that anyone who's in charge, they have a pure heart, they're gonna do what's right, they have no ill intention or anything. But growing up now, it's realizing that, wow, people that are in charge, they can really abuse that power, unfortunately, and affect so many innocent people around them. And then the other one, multiplicity. And it's basically the acknowledgement of multiple perspectives, that all opinions are equal. And just now being a young adult, being in college, and realizing that everyone is going to have their own opinions, not one person's going to be right over the others. But because we all have our own opinions, that means that, they're all equal. Now, if we all agree on all of our opinions or not, that's something else. And then with relativism, that not every idea is a good idea. With just a few examples, not always pushing your assignments off to the last minute. It's not always a good idea. Staying up late doing homework is not always a good idea, with just doing research on how our brain works and sleep and everything. In high school, I thought this, that if you stay up late a night before a test and you cram and you study and you get 2 hours of sleep, that's not a good idea, because your brain needs that time to rest. It needs that time to be able to process all that information that you're taking in, that you're stuffing into your brain. So those are just a few things. But how I would approach someone who are going through the adjustments that were difficult for me, that are difficult for someone else, I would just tell them to just stay in open communication with their professors. Let them know what they are struggling with. Let them know what isn't working, what you need help with, just so that they aren't just so that person isn't in this continuously sinking ship. But yeah, just to tell them to get as much help as possible, because it's never a bad idea.